Welcome, everybody, to episode 167 of WordPress Weekly for Wednesday, October 22nd, 2014. I'm your host, Jeff Chandler, joined by Marcus Couch. Just a few days on the eve of WordCamp San Francisco 2014. Marcus, what's happening out there in San Francisco land other than the World Series?
Yeah, I'm going to actually be making the drive up from Southern California where I am, but I'm so excited I could pretty much just start walking from here today. I'm really looking forward to it.
So we're gonna cover some news topics in the show, but then we're gonna give you a little preview, a little taste of for those who are listening, maybe that are either new to the show, new to WordCamps, basically a rundown of what WordCamp San Francisco is all about. So before we get to that, hey, last week I created a WordPress holiday. It was called the Plugin Rate and Review Day. It was Friday, October 17th. Didn't get a chance to participate in the holiday until about an hour or two prior to midnight. In fact, I ended up contributing ratings and reviews to plugins after midnight, just pretending I was on West Coast time.
Well, that's an extended holiday, right?
Yes, an extended holiday. So it's really cool. According to an estimate by Richard Tate, he sent me this on Twitter, there were a total of 455 reviews published on October 17th, the day of the holiday, when compared to 254 reviews on the previous day. So that was an increase of 180%. And if you ask me, I think that means the holiday was a success.
Yes, Jeff, it sounds like you've contributed to WordPress.
Yeah, cha-ching. Here we go. Yeah. But so I actually went down the list of my 20 or so plugins that I've used in the back end and made a couple of observations. The first is that some of the plugins I reviewed haven't been updated since 2010. So we're going on 4 years now, and they still work. They work just fine. I keep tabs on security updates and security releases. That's sort of my job, just highlighting, keeping tabs on everything that's going on in the WordPress ecosystem. So if there is a security vulnerability in one of those, or I happen to come across one, I'd immediately disable it if it was the case. But a lot of them are just simple plugins, and they just happen to work since they're not using deprecated functions or what have you. And sometimes I notice that some of the reviews I published, my review was the first review since 2012 on a lot of these plugins.
Yeah, so it's no wonder why they're not updated.
So quite a few of the plugins I reviewed have gone through a review drought, so to speak. So it was really cool. I saw a lot of people participating on Twitter. There was a hashtag created in case people wanted to point out their reviews or just say, "Hey, look, I contributed." And just overall, I'm pleased to see the results and see that so many people rated and reviewed plugins that maybe, just from the day-to-day activities of administering websites, writing content, working with clients, sometimes you just don't find that time or find that knack to, or it's not in your workflow to just rate and review plugins you enjoy and you've depended on. And not everybody wrote a positive review. There was a couple that wrote a somewhat negative review, but in those cases, I noticed that the plugin author had responded to those reviews calmly and with a nice, almost the perfect response of saying, "Hey, thank you for reporting these bugs. I didn't know you were having these issues. This is the first time I've heard of it. Let's work together to see if we could figure it out, and I'm going to patch up some things and change the wording so it's less confusing for you." And I was encouraged to see that, and I hope that when they release an update to that plugin, that person will revise their review, because reviews are not set in stone on WordPress.org. But Marcus, you being my plugin guru, did you participate in the holiday?
I did, and by the way, I like to think of myself as the world's plugin guru.
Mm-hmm.
But
Wow.
yes, I did. I actually reviewed 11 plugins. It wasn't quite the full gamut because I have 100 sites, and therefore I probably use 500 different plugins.
Wow.
So I reviewed 11. That's what I could do in about 2 hours' time. I put at least a paragraph in each one, and not only how it did in performance, but opportunities for improvement that I thought the plugin could really use.
Excellent, and that's sort of the definition of the perfect review. And I tried to encourage people to write more than just 5 words. Oh, this is a great plugin, but instead, talk about how you've used it, why it's been helpful to you, and if you do have some improvement suggestions, that would be the place to put them. And based on some of the plugin authors that I was in touch with between the 17th and the 18th, they were very appreciative of the holiday, and a lot of people just like the day. So I think this will turn into an annual event. I'll just have to remember it, put it on my calendar for next year.
I think we need to do it maybe twice a year, maybe spring and fall, like when the time changes. It's time to go review.
Ultimately, every day should be plugin rate and review day. I mean, in all honesty, I mean we shouldn't need a day set out of the year or 2 days set out of the year to do this behavior. It just so happens that we get so busy that it's nice to, oh, it's this day, I guess I'll set some time aside and I'll actually do this thing that I just never get around to doing.
Well,
But
maybe we should invoke one particular day out of the week that we start hashtagging, like Review Thursday or something like that.
that could work for a month. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to see. So just really cool to see how that holiday came about, and we'll see what happens if we do it again next year, which we probably will. It'll be a Saturday next year, so we'll have to see how that works.
Mm-hmm.
So Jason Schuler, who is no stranger to the WordPress Weekly show, has re-entered the WordPress theme market, and he is the founder of Press75, which was sold to Westwork design agency, and he is now going to be doing niche admin designs. So he's got this static HTML template called Pickle used for restaurants, and it's very simple. But it's just a static HTML site, and he's been getting inquiries about how can we use this in WordPress. And if you look at the WordPress backend, by default, there's a lot of things that are there, menus and options that don't correspond very well to what's going on the front end of the site with the content and the template. So what he's done is he spent a total of 2 days. He redid the entire WordPress admin, and he's got a video of it, a preview video. I highly encourage everybody to, and we'll link it to you in the show notes, but check out the video, because when he makes the switch, it's in a theme. So when he switches to the theme and he activates it, it's just like magic. This beautiful looking WordPress backend shows up, and everything in the backend, the options, the settings, the menus, directly correlate with the things that you're editing and configuring for the front end of the site. Marcus, I don't know if you've had a chance to take a look at this, but I was like, when I watched the video and I saw him switch the theme, the first thing I said was, "Wow, that's cool."
I almost felt like he had a wire hooked to the back of my head into the dashboard, because it's all the stuff that I really kind of wanted to see right in front of me, and not the stuff that typically would not be used. Tools, for example, everything was really compact, really, where you needed to be. I thought it was awesome.
So he did this. He spent 2 days doing it. I imagine it was probably a lot of work. So he's going to utilize that with Pickle. I think he's going to sell that as a niche admin theme, and I think we're going to see more admin themes by him. And as I read the story by Sarah, she did an interview with Jason Schuler about the project, and the thing I thought of was, oh, JSON REST API. He's doing it. He did this without the JSON REST API being inside the core of WordPress. It's slated to be part of WordPress in 4.2, or who knows, maybe 4.3, but it's coming. But he did this without it. And I can only imagine if this is a sample of what we'll be able to, of what we might see, when the JSON REST API is added to core, and you can create these custom, beautiful looking uh, back ends that directly correlate with what you need to edit on the front end. Uh, I tell you, I'm pretty
Yeah.
excited.
Since we're audio here, let's kind of break down what this does. When we say it does kind of a custom admin, by that we're meaning it takes out really the codey, geeky stuff of plugins and read settings, write settings, things like that, and it just puts in settings like what's your site title, what's your logo, what's your favicon, what's the intro to the site, what's the what's your menu to the restaurant, where are your locations at, that kind of thing. It's already pre-built for you, and it could be done to where we all get these theme forest themes or some of these other premium themes, and you can never get it to set up like the demo. Well, this is just the demo that's being mail merged with your own information in it, with a really intuitive, easy to use backend that even your client themselves could use.
So there's a lot of discussion in the comments as to why this is a theme and not a plugin. It seems a lot of people said that what he's provided in this design, this admin theme, should be in a plugin. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I mean,
I don't think it could. The only way that it could is if each plugin went back to the reference of the theme to see where the different widget locations were. Okay, this theme is different from the other theme because this has 2 widget locations and not 1. So therefore you need 2 different pieces of data and not 1. So if you're going to do that anyway, just do it within the theme. Why do it within a plugin that's going to have to adhere to 5 or 6 different themes or however many that get custom created?
And we talk about WordPress scaling with size, with an increase in size, an increase of complexity, features, things you need. Well, Jason Schuler is taking the opposite approach. WordPress, to him, the biggest issue with WordPress is that it doesn't scale backwards for minimalist websites like this template. And he believes that the CMS should reflect what you're trying to accomplish with the website and just get rid of all those unnecessary components of WordPress, which is exactly what he's done with Pickle.
Yeah, that's why Squarespace and some of those other places are alive, because WordPress is too hard for some people. If it was like this, in certain instances, there would be no Squarespace. Everybody would do it this way.
So I wanted to propose this question to you. I got involved in a conversation on Twitter with some enthusiastic people talking about this notion of custom admin themes. How do you think with the REST API, if we start seeing an influx of these admin themes, beautiful admin themes, where it doesn't even look like WordPress, how do you think something like that is going to affect the training and the coaching market of WordPress? Do you think there'll be a big difference? I mean, now they'll have to start training for this particular theme or this particular design because maybe things aren't in the right place, or maybe they're labeled differently because those items in the back end are tied strictly to that theme?
I don't know. Did things change when everybody went to flat graphics instead of beveled with shadows and all the rest of it? I mean, it's just perspective. It doesn't really matter what gets you there. We all prefer it to be WordPress, obviously, because we're all fanatical about it. But I don't have any problem with this. I think it's great. If this could be formulated into WordPress in this situation and it's used as just a beginning step, even something simpler than WordPress.com as far as integration, great. Bring them on. Let them in the room. Let's go.
So I was thinking, if I'm a coach, if I'm like Sean Hesketh of WP 101, and I happen to notice a particular theme or admin niche theme that is becoming very popular, I think I just might diversify and do a training product just on that theme. It gives me a chance to diversify my offerings.
That, and anybody that's got a very popular product on things like Theme Forest, they could go do tutorials on the same thing. Go buy a theme, go master it, record a video tutorial series around it, and sell it.
So I'm just excited about what I've seen in Pickle. Everybody who's listening has to check this out. I'm really excited. I mean, it's just mind blowing how he switches the theme, and it's like, where did WordPress go? This is WordPress still? I mean, it's incredible. I can't
Yes.
wait to see what other people have up their sleeves, especially as it gets easier with the REST API when it eventually gets added to WordPress.
Yeah, see, this is great for doing like little mini sites. All you affiliates out there, stuff like this is perfect for it because then you could just insert products, insert a couple things. It's a pre-templatized thing, and away you go.
Custom made just for you.
Yeah.
So I came across this plugin. Rano Hirika, he released a new plugin on the WordPress.org repository or directory, and it's called /edit, which is a pretty cool name. And what it does is when you have it installed and activated, if you add /edit to the end of a URL, it will automatically redirect you to the editing interface for that item. So whether it's a post, whether it's a page, custom post type, even author and taxonomy archives, it will redirect you to the proper editing interface. So what this does is it saves you time from having to actually log into the back end, having to search for wherever that page or post is, and then clicking the edit screen. And also, it becomes useful if you work in an environment where the admin bar is disabled, or even if you're logged out of the website and you want a quick way to log in. If you do the /edit to a page or post when you're not logged in, you'll have to log in first, and then it will redirect you to where you need to go to edit an item. And just a really cool, kind of convenient type of plugin.
Yeah, I refer to that as a lazy plugin. Love it. Great job.
It's sort of funny you mentioned it as a lazy plugin because when I was talking to him about, why did you create this? The word lazy did come up. So you
There are
nailed it,
many
Marcus.
plugins that have rose into prominence based on their laziness.
And come on, who doesn't like being lazy?
That's what it's about. Come on, I don't want to sit here and do code and all that crap and have to click. I mean, if you think about it, if it takes you an extra 30 seconds to go through WP Admin and then go search for the individual post or post type or any of those particular tags, that's wasted time. You do that 10 times a day, that's not good.
Yep.
So anything that can sort of shave the curve and make it a little smoother for you is all good in my book.
So a few weeks ago, actually back in late September, WordPress.com published the first video in a series of short videos promoting how easy it is to publish content on WordPress.com with this theme called Welcome Home. And the first video shows a user taking photos on an iPhone. It's only about 15 seconds long. And then near the end of the video, it shows the WordPress app, WordPress for iOS app, opened up, and you see a post that has already been published with the image, one of the images she had taken on the phone. What you don't see in that 15-second promo for WordPress.com is the process involved of using the app to publish that post with the image. So what I did was I went through and I sort of documented the process of what it's like to actually use WordPress for iOS to publish a post on WordPress.com that's just an image. And when I found out, and I compared it with the Facebook on iOS and Twitter for iOS, and essentially what it came down to is that WordPress.com, the app, the WordPress mobile app, is not the simplest, it's not the fastest, but it is probably the most future-proof way of publishing content online, especially when it comes to images, which was from a mobile app, which was the focus of their commercial.
Mm-hmm. I think the mobile app still has a long way to go. I really do.
And I think Matt Mullenweg would agree with you. I mean, everywhere you look, what's the one thing he says? Mobile, mobile, mobile. I mean, he's saying mobile. He's hiring up as many mobile people as are coming in, and it's everything mobile right now. At Automatic.
If I look as somebody who puts multi-million-dollar businesses out of their old crazy Actron, whatever their old CMS platforms happen to be, and try and convince them to go into WordPress. When you can present them with a solid option to where you're giving executives, sales staff, people like that mobility and still have them participate in the content cycle from their phone. That's huge empowerment for the company.
Mm-hmm.
But if you make that a difficult process through that app, it never happens, so then they concentrate their energy in Twitter and Facebook and all the things that really don't matter. What
It,
really matters is the branding and the content and the company image, and that, if there's salespeople out there, talk about your clients, take some shots, do some case studies, do it while you're out on the road. Take a picture of your smiling clients shaking your hand and put it on the company site. And if the mobile app were a little bit stronger, I would start to encourage more and more business executives and administration to get involved in WordPress, but it's just so hard with such a crappy app.
well, I wouldn't go so far as to call it a crappy app. I mean,
Well, I want them to fix it. That's why I'm kidding
it's
myself
made
about it.
strides. The last major update, which was 4.1 or 4.0, one of the major updates, was a big update. I really appreciate all the changes that were inside of it. But I mean, there's no doubt it has to change.
Yeah, I take it back about crappy. I do use it, and I like it, but I don't
I
love
love
it.
it purely for the management fact. I mean, it's a great way to manage a website, but in terms of content production, I mean, when you talk about mobile devices, I think of phones, but you're probably, tablets, iPads,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. But I mean, when it comes to content production, there's no way I'm doing that on an iPhone because it's a nightmare.
No, no, absolutely not.
So I mean, and I believe maybe I asked this question to Matt, or we brought this up where, the iPhone app for WordPress, maybe the interface or maybe what you can do with it is just there's only so much you could do with it until you run into, well, that's just the way the hardware works. That's just a hardware limitation. We can't can't do anything to get around that.
Right, right.
So everybody should check that out. Compared to different processes, and actually Twitter was the easiest. You just do a tweet, put in a media image, and then post, and it goes out. So I mean, it's pretty simple. But in terms of the whole message of welcome home, that's essentially what they're talking about. Is that you can post images here, and you don't have to. I shouldn't say you don't have to worry. I mean, you always have to have a worry in the back of your mind that someday they could shut down or they could get acquired or something like that. But because of their open data portability, you can consider it your home, and if something does happen, you can just pack your bags and leave, and that option is left up to you at any time. That's something you don't have on either Facebook or Twitter.
True, very true.
As we're finding out with TwitPic, where the way they've handled TwitPic, and they're just, boy, that's a bad situation over there. I've got a ton of images on TwitPic, but what can I say?
I've taken 4 Instagram pics in my entire life, and they're all of my dog. So that's all you get, people.
How precious are those images to you?
Not very.
So, anyways, so speaking of WordCamp San Francisco, which is coming up starting Saturday, but
Yeah.
the festivities, if you're in the know, start Friday night. If you can't make it to the event, tickets are still available to watch the live stream. There's 2 different levels of tickets you could purchase. There's the regular live stream ticket, which costs $10, which allows you to enjoy the conference from the comfort of your home or wherever. But if you pay for an $18 ticket, you'll get a T-shirt, which is the same T-shirt all of the attendees will get when they attend the event. So I'd opt to probably get that. I mean, it's only $8 more. The one thing that I don't know of as of yet is whether you'll be able to have whether this live stream will have playback capability after the event has concluded. I know we had a question about that. I'm not sure if it's just a one-time.
I don't think so. I
happen.
watched the stream last year, and it did not have playback capability. It was just a screen with a couple tabs, and there were 2, the different rooms that you could go to see what was happening in each one. but it did not have any kind of playback capacity at all. And I think that perhaps that gets exported over to WordPress.tv, maybe.
So I didn't. I was there. I was at the event. I was actually volunteering and doing. Had a video camera. I was recording people. I was doing interviews for the hallway track there at WordCamp San Francisco. So I ended up missing a lot of sessions because I was doing all the in between stuff, interviewing people, and that was kind of cool. I volunteered to do that. But as someone who watched the stream, how did they have it set up? Just so in case they do it similar this year, people know what to expect when they purchase the stream.
It was stage oriented, so they did pan back sometimes when there was an audience question, but
I mean, do they have it set up to where they have like 3 different streams? So you could just switch to whatever room is having a session.
yeah. Oh yeah, it certainly did. There were 2 different tabs, so you could go from room to room. I think maybe there were more tabs, maybe 3, but absolutely, it was cool. I'd get bored with one session, and just with one click, I'd be in the next room. Perfect audio, could hear everything. The one thing you can't ask any questions. Obviously, you have to show up in person, but who knows? That might be a fun screen to keep up. The people on the live stream watching, maybe they have a question.
Yeah, and I wonder if maybe they'll open up a chat room specifically for the state of the word or whatnot. Because I've actually seen that done before, where somebody monitors a live stream, that they have a chat room going on, and they'll have someone assigned to where if a question comes in, they'll actually ask them during the session. But I don't know if we'll have that at WordCamp San Francisco this year. But overall, was the quality good? I mean, was it just?
It was great.
Right there, you got to enjoy it right from your home.
It was like $20 or something. I got the shirt. Yeah, what'd you say? $18?
Yep.
I would have paid $50 to watch the stream without the shirt.
So I think one of the unique things is if people who are listening, if you don't want to watch it alone, there's actually a couple of WordPress meetup groups that are having live stream viewing parties, which I think is pretty cool.
That's awesome. I'd love to see that on a planetary scale. Wouldn't you love to see the Tokyo people gathering around?
Yeah, everyone. You have this notion where the Tokyo people, the people in London, the people in Russia, the people at the North Pole.
Yep. Jamaican guys.
Iceland, and they're all huddled around a computer screen as they watch the state of the word.
Yeah.
Matt Mulloway.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a view I'm coming up with in my head. But I know Angie Meeker, who runs the WordPress meetup group in the Columbus, Ohio area, they are having a live stream viewing party for both days, so that's really cool. You could sign up to that event, and Columbus is in the center of Ohio, so it's not that far of a drive all the way around the state. And there's also a viewing party going on in Seattle, and I know Seattle has a big-time WordPress meetup group scene up there, and they're also doing a viewing party. So just really cool little events there, and I wonder what that would be like. Instead of watching the live stream by myself, to actually be in a room with, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 other people. I think that'd be kind of neat.
Come on, man. Beer, pizza, live WordCamp going on. That'd be great. That's just like football. It's better than the World Series.
Yes, it is. So, with that said, Marcus, you and I, we will actually be there. We will be, Sarah Gooding, myself, and Marcus Couch, and I don't know, about 1,000 other people will be at the WordCamp San Francisco event this weekend, beginning on Saturday at the Mission Bay Conference Center. That's where the sessions are taking place. And Marcus, have you had a chance to take a look at the session schedule? Have you planned it out yet?
I have not, so that's why I was hoping we could both kind of get a rundown together as far as the schedule and the speakers and help plan it out together.
Well, I've got to say that the first day is packed with sessions. I mean, it starts at 9 a.m. and the last session of the day is at 5:15 with closing remarks at 5:45. So it's going to be a long day, and depending on, in fact, Marcus, you and I had talked about this a few weeks ago about the WordCamp Survival Guide. This is
Mm-hmm.
one of those events that if this is someone's first WordCamp, oh my, they're
Yeah.
definitely they should go through a boot camp or something. This I almost want to say that WordCamp San Francisco shouldn't be their first WordCamp that they attend. But then again, why not? Why not just dive
Yeah.
head first?
Yeah, it's
You got to
funny
get
because
started
you're going to be
somewhere.
able to spot them. Like, yeah, it's his first word camp. Leave him
Yeah.
alone.
Well, you'll be able to see them, and it'll look like their head's gonna explode because all
Hmm.
this good information all day. So there's two tracks, or I should say there's two. I don't think are there tracks. I don't think there are tracks. I think there's just sessions in two
Two
different rooms all
rooms,
day.
really. Yeah,
So
it's
you
just
just pick a
rooms.
session.
Yeah, you've got upstairs and downstairs, basically. The auditorium or the banquet room.
So there's looks like sessions are about a half hour long with a 15-minute break in between. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
pretty. So that's
perfect.
pretty nice because 15 minutes that gives you a break. You can sigh of relief, gives you a chance to chat, and a half hour. Once the speaker gets involved in a topic, the half hour flies by,
Yeah,
Spe-
absolutely.
especially if you have a good one. So, amongst all of the sessions available, I mean, they have lessons learned from unlocking the web, typography and user experience. And there's a couple. There's at least at 10:30. There's a lightning talk round. So there's a couple different speakers that will do about, I think, 5 minutes each of a
Hmm.
particular topic. So I'm looking forward to that. I haven't actually seen a lightning talk in person, so I'm wondering how that'll happen. Then everything from practical guide to contributing to the future of WordPress is global. I mean, anything that you have an interest in is going to be covered at some point during the day on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm in awe of all the speakers, all the stuff. I mean, the one. Okay, here's what I'd love to do. Uh, I'd love to see the first one, migrating 17 WordPress blogs on Wired into one WordPress install, just
That's
for
the
the
one.
tech.
That's the one I'm seeing.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're gonna be there. Um, Typography and User Experience by Sarah Cannon. That's always something I'm always into, is user experience, because that a good user experience equals money. And then the lightning talks. Boy, how do you choose Zach Tolman and Joel Dawson versus Taylor Aldridge, Jennifer Bourne, and Tracy? What is her last name? Levesque.
Levesque.
Yeah, that's tough.
Well,
Cause that.
that one is design and business. It sounds like that's up your alley.
Yeah, but I also want to do it right.
You want to do design and business, but you want to do it right. So,
That's right.
well, you're kind
That's
of at a
right.
crossroads there.
Then we got, yeah, be a volunteer, not a martyr, a practical guide to contributing, with Boone Gorges, and that's something I need to do. I contribute in the sense of podcasts and otherwise, but I don't do anything for the core, and I should be. I should be doing stuff and talking about functionality and what I need to do. So that's definitely something for me. But yeah, design with personas, a lean approach. That sounds like an awesome session too. How do you choose?
You have a session dilemma, I see.
Well, the nice thing is
They're
I
all
know that
recorded.
I can watch this again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now this isn't like other WordCamps that I've been to that this has an upstairs and a downstairs, so that's kind of a trek if you want to bounce to the next room.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to kind of commit.
It's an opportunity to exercise. So if you do it just right, you can go upstairs, downstairs.
Yeah, exactly. I've got to see the future of WordPress with Andrew Nason. What's not to love about something like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
Lightning talks again.
yeah, more lightning talks with all these people that I like, you know. So maybe I will bounce, and that's pretty quick too. Really, lightning talks.
Yeah, that's a
So
20-minute session. So you one, two, three, probably about 5 or 6 minutes each.
yeah. And then after the break, Saving the Web by Doing as Little as Possible by Liza Danger Gardner. And that's always my mantra, doing as little as possible. Speaking of lazy plugins. um, boy, the rest of them, it starts to get a little geeky, doesn't it?
Yeah,
UX,
I could tell you
UI.
right now, anything dealing with the REST API, that's where I'm going to be at. My main focus
Yeah.
at working in San Francisco is to learn as much as I can about this REST API and even talk to the people that I know are going to be there that are behind this API, so I can get a better
Mm.
idea, a better handle on what the heck it is and why everyone's so doggone excited about it.
Well, I guess you talked me into it. So, but what I like about this is there's not a lot of how to set up your WordPress site. I mean, this is meat. These sessions have got meat to them. So
Yes, yes,
Andrea has
extremely.
picked some goodies here. We got a full plate of a carnivore weekend of WordPress.
Yeah, this is going to be great. And the Sunday is going to be a combination day between sessions in one room, and in the other room, they're going to have a contributor day. So
Hmm.
if you're involved with WordPress or you've already established part of a working group or working team, they'll have a place set aside where you can contribute to your favorite part of WordPress. But of course, Marcus, 11 a.m. Sunday morning, that is the talk. Everybody will be sitting in their seats and in front of their computer monitors to watch.
Oh,
The State of the Word 2014.
tell me about it, man. I'm gonna be like it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be like a general admission, free public concert that Megadeth's playing. It's gonna be everybody's gonna be fighting to get up front to get a glimpse of Matt while he delivers the latest technology and advancements that are coming forth about WordPress. I can't wait.
Yeah, I love the way he does his presentations, and I think we've talked about this before. It's sort of our version of what an Apple keynote event is like.
I think it's better because our guy is way cooler.
No argument for me on that. And then right after that, you get lunch, and then right after lunch, boy, you get some more uh, knowledge put into you by one of our favorite guests, Chris Lemma, strengthening your brain with a blog.
Yeah, if anybody knows about strengthening a brand, it's Chris. So that's definitely one on my must list. And even though Chris is local to me, I will absolutely stick around for that.
And other than the lightning talks, most of the other sessions during the day, it's you have artful blogging, finding and maintaining your blog's voice. Then you have lightning talks with blogger basics, and an interview with the blogess, which is Jenny Lawson, I
Right.
believe. So most of Sunday is specifically about blogging and it's sort of on the same page of sessions you would see at a typical WordCamp, I think.
Yeah. So I would say anybody there that wants to party with me and Jeff, maybe right after Chris Lemma. It'd be a
Well, we'll
great
see about
time.
that. We'll see about that. No promises.
Okay.
And then this event on Monday, after the sessions are all over, uh, Monday, October 27th is the day of the WordPress Community Summit. So a lot of people, anybody that's staying over, that wants to discuss a particular aspect of WordPress, whether that be WordPress.org, whether that be the BBPress project, BuddyPress project, documentation, things of that nature. This will be their opportunity to get together in one physical location, talk things out, come up with a roadmap, come up with plans, talk about things before, things in the future. There was a community summit about 2 years ago. It was its own separate entity down in Tybee Island, Georgia. Um, and what they're doing now is this is sort of an experiment. They're piggybacking off of WordCamp San Francisco because there's so many people there, and so many people. It's the conference to go to every year. So I think we'll have to see how this experiment plays out in terms of having it piggyback off WordCamp San Francisco. And then after that, Tuesday and Wednesday, the contributor teams will have 2 days to work on their projects together in the same physical location, so they don't have to use Skype IRC, but they probably will because that's what they're used to, even though they're
Right.
sitting right across the table from each other. So Tuesday and Wednesday are set aside for those teams to just hammer on the things that are bothering them most about their particular projects, or to come up with plans for things to work on in the future. So all in all, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, WordCamp San Francisco has turned into a 5-day extravaganza.
Yeah. I'm going to show up Monday at the automatic office and just go, all right, guys, let me see the binder. I need to see the original source code binder. Let's go through this. Let's highlight what needs to be changed. No, that's not what that's not what that's about? No?
No, it's not.
Oh.
No, it's not. Everybody gets together in their own little teams, and they, like, for example, you actually had to sign up, because space is limited. It's being held in the automatic offices, so space is limited. You had to sign up. And if I actually get inside the community summit, I'm going to spend some time over at the EWordPress table, because I have some insight, some feedback, some things I want to say. I want to find out how I can help EWordPress be better than what it is. And I'm not talking about just from a code standpoint. I'm talking about the face of the project, the perspective of the project, not having people think it's dead all the time. How can we change that perception that people have of the project, and just talk about ideas. And I think in a lot of those aspects, the public-facing aspects of the project, I think I can help with. So that's my plan for the community. That's where I'm going to be spending some of my time at the community summit.
Yeah, me too. If I get a chance, I'm going to go over to the EWordPress folks and shoot them a URL to Discourse, the forum software.
Oh, come on. No way. That doesn't even deserve a rim shot.
Hey, no, they need to see that stuff, and they need to emulate fast.
So, in case you are listening to this, you're on your way. This is prepping you for WordCamp San Francisco. Keep in mind that the San Francisco Giants are in the World Series. They will be playing total of three games, possibly throughout the weekend, and that's just going to cause traffic issues and things of that nature. There's going to be a lot of people in the area.
It is possible they could win it, either like Saturday, right, or Sunday.
Yeah, if they did a sweep,
they could win it. Yeah. So depending on when you're listening to this episode, we could be completely off.
Right now, game 2, bottom of the 6th. It's tied 2-2.
Oh
So
boy! I mean, that's the possibility, man. That's the possibility. We could have WordCamp going on while they win the World Series. Wouldn't that be amazing?
That would be nuts. So as we're walking out of the WordCamp San Francisco after party, which is Saturday after all the sessions are over with, and if they happen to clinch, if they happen to win the World Series that night, I don't know. You might want to.
You can just bring your beer right outside. Then no one cares.
Stay inside.
No, just take your beer outside after the after party, because it doesn't matter. Everybody's drinking then.
Yeah, everybody's drinking. Boy, hooting and hollering. That would be interesting.
What an experience for all the out-of-towners like me and everybody else and you.
Yes.
What
an experience that would be.
Maybe a riot will happen. Who knows?
So Marcus and I and Sarah Gooding will all be at WordCamp San Francisco. I'm going to cover the event from a attendee perspective. I didn't get a chance to really attend any sessions last year, so this time I really want to concentrate on attending some sessions and just acting like I'm an attendee, no one special, which I'm not. So with that said, next week I'll be back in time to do the show. Next Wednesday evening, what we're going to try and do is gather 1 or 2 people that attended the event and see if we can't have a little WordCamp San Francisco review roundtable. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, while the scent is still fresh, so to speak.
Yes, and I think there will be some information. Actually, I know there will be information that we could probably talk an entire hour about that will be shared during Matt's State of the Word presentation. There always is.
Really? You got secrets you're holding back? You're dropping bombs next week only?
No, I'm just saying there's always stuff to talk about,
Yeah.
whether it's the direction of the platform, especially uh, the results of the survey that's been going on now for the past month or so,
Right.
the direction of how people are using WordPress and where he kind of sees WordPress evolving, where it's at and sort of directions in terms of where we're going in the following year. That's all good stuff. So we're all going to document everything for you. We're going to do a little wrap-up show, a little review show of WordCamp San Francisco next Wednesday. But with that said, Marcus, why don't you give us your plugin picks of the week so we can get out of here and start packing?
Packing, yeah. All right, well, we got some doozies this week. This is some really fun ones. The first one is called Circles Gallery, and it's kind of it's touted as 3 different plugins in one, and I really believe that. It takes kind of your traditional gallery and it kind of formats it in a circle format, like a Google Plus thing would do, or sometimes you see in some of the modern theme sites. You can do that. You can do a modern multi-column layout, kind of like a masonry style with Pinterest. And then it also has a team members template, so you can use that for staff in any of your designs or things like that. So it's really cool, and you don't really need an expensive theme to get a cool gallery like this. You could really use anything stock and use something like this to really convey who's on your staff, or photographs and pictures, or even things that you post with the WordPress mobile app, as we discussed earlier. So it's called Circles Gallery. Really nice plugin.
That's interesting. I was pitched earlier this week. I think it was earlier this week, of a commercial plugin where it has, geez, I don't know, like 20 different gallery layouts, but also animations, like a circle, but the circle rolls and you get to see what's underneath the circle, or like the description, underneath the image. It had 20 different effects. That was pretty neat.
Yeah, that's clever for
Like
the first.
gallery.
It's clever for the first 10 seconds. That's about it.
Yeah, and then it's like annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. Next one we've got is called CP Polls, and this kind of takes the classic poll and goes a little bit further. It does sort of a predictive qualifying answer. So let's just say, Jeff, if I'm questioning you and you fill in the answer as far as who do you like for the World Series, the Giants or the Royals, and you say I like the Royals, and you click the Royals, and then it's going to ask you, oh, who's your favorite player on the Royals? And so you can select that, and then it just kind of goes down the list. So it's really nice. It has dependent questions that are leading, as we just discussed, and you can export all of the results both in a printable list of who voted for what, but you can do it also in Excel in a CSV format as well. It's put together really nicely with a visual drag and drop form builder, and it does full email notification as well. So for a free plugin, it's fantastic.
So when you describe this, it sounds to me like one of those things that you could set up to where you do all these different options. I could ask you questions, and then you select an answer, and then at the end of it, it says, you are this person, or
no, it doesn't do that. Okay. It doesn't do that. It's just for poll's sake. It's just for. So if you were to say, what do you like better, plugins or themes? And then, they would select, and then it would say, okay, what if you selected plugins? It would go, okay, which of these plugins do you think is the best? Yoast, all-in-one SEO, or neither?
Okay, so they should call it rabbit hole plugin, because you answer one question and it leads you into a related series of questions, which goes down to another related series of questions.
Well, okay, but you don't have to go that far. You could just go 2 layers rather than your traditional poll that just has one question.
Okay, yeah, okay, so I got you.
So you could just go one deeper. So not only do you want to know the answer to that question, but why is that they think that way? And you can give them 3 other options. So it gives you more statistical data than what you would get otherwise.
Got it.
So moving on, I sometimes feature Gravity Forms little add-on plugins. Gravity Forms, of course, is a paid yearly subscription plugin, but these plugins that we mentioned are free add-ons to it. So this is called Gravity Forms Entry Expiration. So what it allows you to do is set an expiration for your forms and say, okay, at the oldest date, if this is 30 days, just get rid of it. And so that way you don't have lingering forms all the time. Half the time when I log into client sites, I'm looking at what I thought were indications of new forms, and I go click there, and it's really something that's quite old and didn't get followed up on or looked at or whatever, and doesn't need to be there, and it certainly doesn't need to warrant my time as far as the expiration to it. So thought this is a really nice add-on plugin. It's absolutely free. It's called Gravity Forms Entry Expiration. Jeff, it's one of those lazy plugins that we talk about.
Awesome. Who doesn't like a good lazy plugin? Or a plugin with lazy in the title? Like for videos, lazy YouTube videos, lazy loading, things of that nature. So that's going to do it for this episode of WordPress Weekly. We'll be back next week. I hope, if all things go great.
Unless maybe. Jeff and I get in a fight and we never this could be our last show together, Jeff. If we don't like each other in person. For those of you who don't know, Jeff and I've never...
The Giants win the World Series, and somehow you and I end up on a milk carton.
Yeah. What are we going to say to our audience right now if this is it?
Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon. I don't know. So that's going to do it for this edition. You can find show notes for this episode and all previous episodes on WPTavern.com. And you can follow me on Twitter at Jeffro. That's JEFFR0. How about yourself, Marcus?
You can find me at my website, marcuscouch.com, on Twitter at marcuscouch, and also check out WPR.FM. Jeff, I rebuilt WordPress Radio, and it's even got, it even tells what's being played on the stream and the last things played. So, stepping it up, my man.
Fantastic. And when are we going to get some? Well, actually, is it sort of already on demand? You already have on demand built in?
On demand is built in already on the website, and also on demand will be built into kind of a web interface. So we're working on that. Working on a quick way to just have a URL that pops right in. But I also, here's a funny thing about the stream. I'm gonna have Matt pick out some jazz songs for me, because I can have this standby where if the stream is down, then it just plays music. So maybe we'll play the jazz tunes.
Ooh, some sweet jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so that's gonna do it for this episode. Safe travels, Marcus. You don't have far to go. You're driving, but me, I have to go all the way across the country. I have to use 2 different planes, 2 different tubes, and geez, I hope I don't get sick. So best safe travels. I'll see you
Thank
there
you.
Friday or Saturday or whenever. And
yes.
I'll talk to you next week.
All right.